Hey,
We're live!
we're live. Let's do it live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Show Must Go On line.
And
Today's guest is Zachary Thompson Lane. How are you doing today?
I'm doing just swell, Shoshana. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. And so it looks like Slimbo, my dear pup, has escaped through the door.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I scared him.
No, it's because I just got this new pillow. Hold on. We're gonna have some improvising here.
Okay, that's the best pillow ever.
I got this pillow that looks like Slim, but also like me with the glasses.
It's like what? It's like a face swap with you, and it's like that looks like his like 9th grade graduation picture. It looks like you should have a little graduation hat. It's like you did it, Slimbo. Congrats.
I might need to Photoshop a little that and then print another version because
A little diploma, like.
oh my gosh, Slimbo. He'll be back. I'm almost sure of it because it's like it's slightly chilly out, but not so cold. So he's kind of like seeing what the outside is like.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, no, totally. I'll be back.
He tests the grounds for 5 minutes. He goes, I might be better off inside. Yep.
So this is going exactly how I would have hoped, dreamed, wished everything.
Well, look at that. We're making all the dreams come true today. Take that, Disney.
Take that.
Me too. I was really excited to come on and talk to you. I know it's been a while, so like a full year. Hey.
Goodness, it feels. You know what's so funny? When I was looking through the photos and I was putting the cover photo together, and I saw that one of the two of us outside of Freestyle Love Supreme. And I just remember how, like, that was such a New York moment, right? Where you're just like, you're doing your own thing. You're both going to work or at work, and then just like, boom, friends.
Yeah. It's just like, that, and there you have it. Yeah, it was like freezing. I was late for something. You were trying to get filming. I was like, I'm gonna bother her. But that was ridiculous. It's so funny, like, not that I have done a lot at all. Like I've done 1 or 2 things, and not like big things. But it's just funny walking down the street at that point and being like, I know that person. Like I know that vendor. I know that actor. Like I know that guy's the bartender at the show, and it's so cool to have that.
Oh, I agree. That's the best. I feel like I'm just going to be very nostalgic, so please bear with me.
You know what? If you weren't, then everyone is. How can you not be?
I know.
We're all just like a bunch of people that like to do stuff, not really being able to do a whole lot, and it's like, so
I know.
Blame you.
Can we just talk about, do you remember that day after I finished filming? It was for this like Patreon submission to like get this thing, which like I didn't end up getting, but the application itself was so much fun that like it taught me so much. And I'm like, whatever, it's okay. And you can still watch it on my BOA Show YouTube page.
Ooh.
But,
like that one there. Ooh.
Do you remember we just kept running and jumping and doing like outtakes?
Like this. I got this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. People are going to be watching this and they're like, they are off the chains. It's amazing.
Yeah, I remember people walking by like, what could this possibly even be? He's back.
Slimbo! Everybody, hello. This is my co-host Slimbo, just knocking everything over. Oh, it's the best. I'm so happy that he has joined us. He has graced us with his presence.
Oh, he is. He's oblivious.
Just the cutest little puppy. So, while I'm here with Slimbo and just petting his face, why don't you tell us your origin story? What got you into theater and acting, everything? Take it away.
Origin story. Okay. So, wow, that's a big question. So I was a jock, I guess you could say. I was Sports Central, baby. I was running track and cross country, and I was playing lacrosse, and I was doing basketball and soccer, and not theater at all. It's frequent shower singer. I was a big into shower singing. But I was a drummer. I loved playing the drums. I played in my school band, and I played in a couple little funny outside bands. My peaking moment was when I played, and I'm old, but I'm not that old. I'm 24. So ska was long dead, but I played in ska band, kids.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was a thing. But I remember one day, my sister was really into theater, and she used to do this summer program in my hometown, which is Stony Brook, New York. And she would do this summer theater program, and they'd rehearse for like a month or two, and then put up a show at the end of the summer. And it was really fun. And my mom was always like, Zach, you should do this, because I'm crazy and animated, I suppose you used to say. And so one day she got me in the car, and she took me to the auditions. And I think it was for Anything Goes was the show. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with Anything Goes. It's a good, silly little show. But yeah, I just auditioned. I didn't know how to do it. I had fun, but I heard the Be Like the Bluebird song, which is in the show. It's in Moonface Martin, little show. Yeah, let's do it. And he's like, I don't like that show. I'm leaving.
I think that no.
Yeah. But yeah, and I auditioned for it, and I got that part, and I had so much fun that I quit everything else and just did theater from that point. So
Wow.
yeah, so that was my first role, and I caught the bug, as they say. But I remember I went in, and everyone was like, aren't you Olivia's sister, brother? I was like, yeah. Okay, well, we'll see what, but it was fun. It was a good outlet. I feel like it always, it allowed for silliness and allowed for flexibility. And it was really fun to explore that, especially as I got older and had more training and, did college shows and stuff. It's always been good to me. Theater's always been good to me.
That is so much fun. I had no idea about the sports aspect. And it's like you would never know. Like, I also played 3 varsity sports in high school and did the musical. Yeah. So like, hey, sports theater people.
Yeah, you were a busy beaver. Wait, what 3 sports did you play?
I played soccer, basketball, and softball.
Nice.
And yeah, it was a good time. I miss sports.
I know. I'm like a golden retriever. Every time I see a ball, I'm like, yeah, I could play. Literally. And I started playing during quarantine, the best quarantine sport there is, which is tennis. Because you're so far apart, you don't touch anybody. And I'm having the time of my life. Like, I feel like I'm getting that that sports side back. I'm really grateful for it. So I'm playing against this guy, his name is Jack. I was introduced to him as Jack, right? I joined like an app, you can like find tennis players and play and stuff. So I meet Jack. He's texting a little strange, all caps, very official. I was like, what the heck's this guy's deal? I meet up with him. He's 75 years old.
Yes.
He's French. His name is Jacques. And he's an old semi-professional tennis player. And this guy has kicked my behind 7 games in a row now. No contest. And he's like, oh, Zachary, that was a very good shot. And I'm like, shut up. Yeah, you won 2-0 again.
Oh.
So, making my day.
This is the best. I'm loving your like tennis hat as well. You're like totally that whole vibe. Yeah.
Thank you. I call myself the phase man because my wonderful ADHD requires that I find something new and interesting every couple months, and I dive down the rabbit hole, and then I turn around and do something else. So we got tennis apparel, baby.
Look at that hair. You and your famous hair.
Oh God. Well, you know what? I cut it all up, and then I was like, I'm gonna commit again. So impulsive decisions.
Looks great. Looks great however you wear.
Man, this is the most supportive person in the whole world, folks. Right? Is it this way? No. There.
I know. Why is it so hard?
Yeah, because that is no,
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
this way.
there it
But
is.
is
Okay.
that wait.
Oh my goodness, this is amazing. We're gonna get it right
Yeah.
there. Okay, we
Yeah.
did it. This is
Everyone
my
else was
most
like, what the hell?
professional interview I've ever done. Oh my
Hey, we're
God.
here to give the people a good time because there's enough crap going on in the world.
So true.
Oh,
Oh, I know. Sometimes I just gotta shake it out. Shake it
yes,
out. Shake it
yes,
out.
kids. Everyone shake it out. Get rid of that.
Shake it out.
Your whole lot of stress in your body. It's
It's so
important.
true though. And sometimes on these interviews, it's good to just everyone take a second, big deep breath in, hold it for a minute, not a minute. Oh my gosh. Like, 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Big
Yes.
exhale. And like it Elle Morgan Lee was the first person who like kind of inspired me to do that. And her just like poise and it like helped my chest just kind of take a deep breath and be like, oh, right. Sometimes it is just as simple as taking a deep breath and stretching out your shoulders and, oh, okay, the world's going to be a little bit better.
Yeah, you're totally right. Totally right. There's such like a mental mind-body connection. And I think a
Yes.
lot of people, self-care in both areas is just so important. That's cool that you have realized that and now can like use that because it's a great tool, man. Woo.
It is. I have to say, you're telling me that I'm the most supportive person, but you are always so positive and kind and say the nicest things.
I appreciate that. I definitely want to be a good force in the world. So thank you. That means a lot.
Yes.
We got two lifter-uppers going on.
Yay!
Yeah.
Well, I want to give a shout out. I see some people here, and I know when I tweeted this out earlier, people were so excited to see your chat because you are just such a positive force. And we will get into the be more chill of it all. Everyone, do not fret. Do not fret. And just you wait.
Okay.
But I want to give a shout out. I see Adventures with Mooch. I love that handle. Saying Zach is my fave, and we all need that deep breath. So thank you very much for that.
Mooch, right on the spot there.
Yes.
Everyone take a deep breath. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Mooch.
Thank you, Mooch. Yes. See, I love this. Very fan-oriented and engaged. Yes. So how did you get to be this stage door manager extraordinaire, the most famous, be more chill stage door human with a Sharpie and ready and a smile on your face?
So how did we get there? Okay. So, I do want to actually shout out Albert real quick. Albert is the real Lyceum stage door manager. Like the actual stage door.
Yeah.
Works is we were like, oh crap, like the real stage door is too small. It's not a big enough area. So we actually moved it to the back of the theater. So that was a little interesting. Or sorry, the front of the theater. The real stage door is in the back. But okay. So I went to it's a journey. I went to Sacred Heart University in Connecticut. And there is a guy there who runs the theater arts program who just happened to be a lead producer on the show. So I was really, really like engaged in like the shoot theater arts program. I did a lot of the shows. I was kind of, really involved, and I loved it. It was a good program. I did a lot, learned a lot. But I graduated from school, and I was like, I'm gonna be an actor, and I'm gonna wait tables for a year in my hometown, save up as much money as I can, and I'm moving to the city, baby. And so I did that. And then I moved to the city. I lived in Astoria to start, and I didn't have a job. And so I was like, what can I do? Oh, by the way, the only reason I moved to the city too, because I was in a 2-year acting conservatory in Brooklyn, Meisner. It was called Terry Knickerbocker Studio. Good place for any people that are interested in learning Meisner technique. I learned a lot there. Good people, good teachers. So I'm jobless. I do photography as well. So I tried as much as I can. was for a month just looking everywhere, door to door with resumes. And I got a job working as a construction photographer. So I didn't even know this existed. So basically on all construction sites, there needs to be someone there to document what is changing and what the updates are. It was a job, but a guy paid the bills. And so I got that job, and a week into it, I was like just starting to get into the groove. I was like, blah, blah, blah. This producer, Jerry Gehring, called me and he said, "Hey, Zach, how's it going?" And I said, "Oh, fine." And, I just got a job. And he's like, "Oh, did you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, what would you feel about not doing that and coming to work on Broadway instead?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll do that." So I didn't know what I was doing. I was all excited. I was like, "Hey, everybody, like I'm gonna be in the whatever." So I got really excited. I had my first meeting, and it was with the general management team. And so I got there, and I was all excited. I didn't even know what I was doing. And they were like, "Okay, Zach, we have a couple different jobs for you." And I said, "Okay." And they said, "Okay, we're gonna have these cool pins that we're gonna give out to the script zone, the first 2 rows, and I'm sure everybody knows all about the pins. And you're gonna give those out." I said, "All right, cool." And then they said, "Yep, that's it, I think." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Want me to do anything else?" And they were like, "Oh, I guess maybe during intermission you can go help with the lines." And I said, "Okay, I could do that." And then after the show, they were like, "And there's gonna be like a lot of fans outside, stuff like that. So just like go stand outside, just make sure everything like runs smoothly, and like just make sure that people have Sharpies." And I was like, "Okay." So so basically that means I got to pretty much watch Be More Chill every single night, uh, every day, including previews, and do that. So it was the best. It was really fun. I met so many funny people, good people. Um, yeah, but okay, so I like, I don't know. I don't think there's like such things as like insignificant jobs. But if there was, this would be it. um, and so I just try to make it fun. I, was standing outside, and I like meeting people, and I like talking to people, and I like saw these people, and I was just like, "Hello," and that kind of started it, and everything from there just kind of snowballed, and I got to meet so many of you wonderful people, and really enjoyed every single moment. I got to meet people from all over the world, meet all the actors, other actors, and yeah, just it was a really happy time.
That is so happy. Sorry, I muted my mic because Slim is just barking up a storm, and I didn't want to distract from this amazing story. But it's a dog's life. It's his world, and we're just living it.
But it's not a dog's purpose, which is a very sad movie. No. I know.
I can't handle those sad dog stories. I'm just letting you know.
This might be callous, but like people can die on screen, and it's like, okay. And then a dog dies, and you're like, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm upset.
Absurd.
Yeah.
I will not be dealing with this.
No.
I know.
Oh, it's okay. Oh my gosh, I just recognized your shirt. I love your shirt.
Thank you. Here.
Love that.
It's from Sis, who were you at? Okay, we're gonna jump around for a little for a little while, and then we will get back to all the more chill stage door thoughts, questions, concerns, stories, everything.
Okay.
But so then you also worked at FLS, and I want to hear that story. But just a quick note: were you there at the performance that Sis went up on stage? Do you remember Sis? Sis, she was the most fabulous in like You have okay, I'm sure you remember, right?
I do. I don't think I was there for that show. What happened?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Talking about all of her different see, I was hoping that Slim would find the pillow and see himself. Yay!
He's like, who's this?
Slim!
He's eating himself.
Oh, come here, bud.
He's like, I hate myself. I'm biting myself.
No, he's like, this looks like a fun pillow that I should go steal and run to the field with.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
He's
That's
like, "Mom, look, I found my pillow."
oh look, it's me.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking, look, there's some friends, Andy and Cindy, Ari. Hello, everyone. Yay, friends.
Hey, I know them.
So Sis talks about this is before I knew Sis, right? This was like the intro. And she's talking about going from like Applebee's and all these different experiences trying to get a job, but like normally job hunting, sad times, not so funny. Sis finds a way to make this the most entertaining story you have ever heard. And everyone just falls in love and is like, this is like the highlight of this FLS performance. Like JMI, I think, played Sis on stage. It was just like and they knew each other from this like Aladdin rehearsal or like this Aladdin event. So it was just this like combination of just happiness, right? Like someone getting their Broadway debut in a way, and like it was just, and that's where we met. And then we just kept running into each other. And then I saw Sis was making these shirts, and I'm like, yes, 100%. And I got this. And yeah, y'all can follow the TNG project. See it. Can you see it here?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
I see a lot of cool looking nails. All right.
Just wanted to give a shout out.
Go support Sis, everybody.
Yes. Okay. This is just like tangent. And you know what? Actually, this is so nice because it's just like two friends catching up.
That's exactly right. It's not like.
So tell me about in the ninth grade.
Oh, we don't want to talk about ninth grade.
Oh, believe me, I'm with you on that.
Okay.
Okay, so let's take that story. Let's go back to Be More Chill, because I do like some sort of like a timeline that we can remember everything. So are there any crazy stories? I just like from the first, I mean, I was there at the first preview and opening night and then the closing performance, like those stage door experiences were simultaneously like larger than life, but also very controlled. And that takes a special kind of person to manage.
Man, I love that. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Well, you know what? It really wasn't hard because everyone was so nice. So it was, I mean, I really didn't really feel like I was working. It was really fun. Okay, so crazy stories?
Please.
Okay. There's one funny story. Somebody has a YouTube video of this, which is really funny for proof. But I remember, so we had sing-alongs almost every night, of course. You know, like the weekends especially, like it would just be like everyone would be singing, and you know, it's funny because like on one side, from my perspective, one side would be like slightly ahead or behind of the other because they couldn't hear each other. So sometimes I was like, no, but one night somebody was like, hey, we should all sing Michael in the Bathroom. And they were like, yeah, sure. And so we all started singing Michael in the Bathroom. And it was pretty late. Like everyone kind of come out. It was kind of done. George hadn't come out yet. And I didn't know he was coming out. But we were all singing Michael in the Bathroom. And then it was like we summoned him because he literally was like, popped his head out the door and was like, are you singing my song? And it was a riot. And everyone was like, whoa, like we did this. So that was a funny moment. One time we had two Be More Chill fans. One of them I got pretty close with. The Be More Chill beatbox. If you're here, I love you, man. This kid was unbelievable. He was beatboxing like FLS style, and then they were singing like Be More Chill lyrics over on top of it, and like doing all this cool stuff, which I know you would probably like. Oh yeah, so we really got into that. Oh my gosh. I have one more crazy story. So this one's a little scary story actually, but it turned out to be absolutely nothing. Okay. So one day we were at the stage door, and all of a sudden we heard bop 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 bop, and we were like, uh-oh. So I was like, okay, everybody, I think we gotta go. And I started checking on Twitter, and everyone's like, there's a shooter or something, and I was like, oh, and it turned out to just be a motorcycle.
Right.
But yeah, that was a more scary moment. But yeah, it was there were lots of moments. There were lots of moments.
What did y'all do at that moment?
Well, I looked it over at the security guard, and I was like, oh, we should probably like get like not have everybody here. So we just were like, okay, let's just be safe. Everyone go like that way, away from Times Square.
Yeah.
And we told the actors like, hey, just be careful coming out. Don't come out, just because we don't want anybody to get hurt or anything like that. So yeah, I was a little scared. I mean, it was just kind of like a moment where I was like, oh gosh, like it's kind of my call what happens here. So I shouldn't, everyone was kind of upset, but it was, the best thing to do.
Honestly, that's a lot of responsibility, but you always want to err on the side of caution.
You said it. You said it.
I was at the Hamilton store that night. Like, their side store on like across the street from the theater.
Yeah.
And I was just there, like I was picking up a present for someone, and we heard the sound, and they like brought us to this like back like room, and it was like, oh, y'all have like a plan. It was crazy.
Wow.
I felt very safe.
Great. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was reading on Twitter that like during the protest, like the recent protests and stuff like that, that like Broadway, like the lobbies were opening up their doors and allowing protesters in. I'm like, that's like a good community right there.
So important.
But that's a community that actually cares about people, because it's yeah. So I'm glad you were safe. That's good.
Oh, and you too. I mean, totally crazy. And just because I know we kind of said it earlier, but I like to just go out and say it. Black lives matter. Black trans lives matter.
Yep. It's not that hard.
Not that hard. And important to just, like it's easy to say, but I feel like making sure to say it is what's important.
Yeah. And being persistent about it too, not letting it fade away to the background, because
yeah. And vote. We need some change, please.
Oh yeah, guys, please vote, everybody.
This is my direct plea to everyone, and if you're too young to vote, please have your voice heard. Talk to your parents and your friends and your family. And all right, I just needed to like cue directly right into the camera.
I mean, there's so much to learn. There's so much to pay attention to, and like not just what people say on social media. Like hop onto what like is really happening, because social media, it can be good, but it can also be kind of bad for that in that way. So don't just hop on the bandwagon. Do your research and have proof as to why the bandwagon's good to hop on.
So true. So, okay, speaking of social media, we need to give a shout out to the people who made those amazing artwork pieces from your cover photo. You got some great fan art.
Can I tell you something? It felt surreal. Like meeting, I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this. Thank you all, because that like made that's something that I will never forget. Never forget. And I have them all saved, like all together. It's like a whole like big box of amazing, like that was like a time, and I'm just so grateful that you would do that. Not for nothing, they're really good, and you all have some real like talent. So keep at it if you want to. If you love doing it, keep doing it, friends. So yeah, I really do think about you all the time, and every time I see those, I think of all of you. And I got to tell you, like, even like at the stage store, people would give gifts and things like that. Oh, that was one of my jobs too. I created like a big gift mailbox system for everybody, which was fun. But like people would like give me gifts. Like somebody gave like big beautiful pictures of me, like really nice little like wristbands with Be More Chill, buttons, which were my favorite. Yeah, bracelets. Someone made me a Tick Tick Boom, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. I was in college poster, and I have that in my room. So thank you.
That is just, I mean, when do you hear that, right? That people, it really became this community, that Be More Chill wasn't just the actors, and it wasn't just, the writers, and like Joe Iconis and family is so inclusive, and it's really just like, it creates this foundation for inclusion. And that's what's so wonderful, is anyone who went to that show or went to one of those post-show hangs, that was so much fun.
Yeah, it became more than just a show. And like, I'm not like, that's the only thing I've ever done with them. Most of those people have been working with Joe for years, like, and I know like he, from what I hear and what I know, like brings people along. you know, and so that, I mean, yeah, that's special. I mean, because you don't have that, you know. It's not, you know, the business is can be very cutthroat and very, you know, money oriented at times, and like that's like a nice step away from that, you know, to remind us of like, hey, we're all like a bunch of like theater dorks, like like just and stuff, and not to get lost in that corporate
Right.
cesspool.
So true. It is important to like remember where you came from and to bring those people kind of throughout your process, which is really amazing.
Totally.
So I want to hear
Okay.
more about like, I mean, so you started this job as like, oh, I'm gonna hand out to the people at the Squip Zone, and then I'm gonna help with that, and then I'm gonna do this. And in the process, you get all these new fans, and you get to see all these shows, and like, you know, but you're also a performer yourself. Did this whole experience kind of help kind of awaken a new part of the acting, or talk about like a different part of just what it means to be a performer?
That's a really good question. You're awesome.
Stop it.
No, you are. Totally, totally. I mean, that literally changed my life. So, I mean, interacting with the kids and the parents, and really just be like, I've never felt so connected to people in my whole life. Like I was literally just, you know, like talking with people, and I learned so much about them and a lot about myself as a performer. I Okay, so this is interesting. So I realized one of the main pieces of acting that I love is like the being able to connect with other people. It's understanding why people do things, how people do things, what emotions are experienced, reading other people, realizing what feelings am I having, kind of stuff like that. It's like actor heady stuff, but it made me realize that I'm actually like interested in more than just acting. I'm interested in like helping people through stuff, you know? So I was thinking to myself, like, oh, Mike, wow, I really love that aspect of it, the connection. And acting is one way to do that. But I am actually right now getting my master's in social work, which is really cool. And so I want to incorporate that somehow in the future with wherever I end up working. I'd either love to be working with performers or at a school or something like that, and working theater into how, you know, treatments are developed for people. Because I think theater, from what I saw, can be the most powerful, most healing, most wonderful thing ever. I mean, we have people that don't know each other, that are strangers, that have a common interest, and that brings them together. I mean, I saw people becoming friends and making friends. You know, like there were these two girls that met each other at one show, and then they came back and saw it again as friends, and they're like, you know, it has an amazing power going through an experience together. And so I want to try to bring that to the world of social work, you know. So, but I also want to keep performing and stuff, and you know, even if it's not going to be on Broadway, I'd love to do some fun community theater and stay active in that world because I love it. So yeah, kind of melting those two together.
I love that combination. I feel like it's so perfect for you. And it is so true. I mean, theater connects people. And when you can like, especially like a live performance, Slim, you know, it is, I just need to say, he is so calm for like the hours leading up to, we're on the couch, we're just chilling, he's on the bed, he's just like walking around. I'm like, do you want to go out? No, I'm good. The second I sit down here and I do anything on the computer, all of a sudden he makes all this noise and wants my attention. Classic.
That is literally, that's dogs to a T. Every time.
Slimbo, it's okay, bud.
We're just chatting.
It's just the neighbors. It's usually people walk by or bicycle by, and it's like it's too much. It's overload for him. So I understand.
My dog's the same way.
Hey, oh, my boyfriend's brother is here. That's probably why
he's. That would do it.
But like he knows Odlin anyway. This is now y'all like.
Hi, Odlin.
Hey, Odlin. My boyfriend is John. His brother is Odlin. Now you know our situation here.
All right. That's right. Don't worry. I've been lucky the whole time. I'm sitting in like the main area of my apartment building. So
Ooh.
because my wonderful girlfriend, who I met or well got to know better and started dating through Be More Chill, is in our apartment on class right now. She is also getting her master's. So we're everyone's making it work. I'm sure all of you that are doing Zoom like classes online in high school and stuff right now are just like you're like, yep, that sounds about right.
Yep. Wow. So that's, I mean, people getting together through theater, like that's how John and I met and like getting closer.
Yeah.
So you're also making me think, do you know Dr. Drama? Elisa? She is a clinical psychologist who also does the intersectionality between theater and psychology. And I'm like,
yeah.
I need to connect the two of you.
Dr. Drama. I'm writing it.
Dr. Drama.
That's a great name.
Right. It's so good. And we always talk about how theater is healing. And I mean, like we're talking, of course, a lot about Be More Chill and Freestyle Love Supreme because of your experiences and where we met. But Be More Chill really like had such a foundation in my theater experience last year, and just like the kindness that you could see on stage and like off stage and covering an event. And like, I've told Joe a gazillion times that Be More Chill was the first opening night I got to cover. And that is so special. And it holds such a special place in my heart. And it was such a fun night. And like, everyone was so nice. And it just like, it set this bar, this expectation of like, oh, so people can be doing their work. They can be really talented and they can make sure everyone like gets what they need. And they're so thoughtful. And it's just like, I feel like the Be More Chill and the FLS family, though very different, both have that same mentality, because I also covered the FLS opening night and it was
you did.
It was a good time. Part of your job, like you said, was getting to see the shows. And at FLS, it was a new show every night.
Every night.
So were there any crazy tales that you can share? Because I know there's some stories that are like, you had to be in the room where it happened.
Yeah. Oh my God. No one else was in the room where it happens, the room where it happens, the room where it happens. I've got to be.
Yeah. Scat away.
Leslie Odom. Odom? Leslie
Odom?
Odom Jr. Yeah. What the hell?
You nailed it.
A little brain fart there. Okay. Okay. My job for FLS was completely different. So that was less of I wasn't really involved there too much. I actually worked for the company that was taking away everybody's phones. So I was working for, what the heck is it called? Yonder.
Yonder
Couches. So that was a time and a half. Everyone was really upset that we had to take their phones away, and I was like, but yeah. So again, I got to see the show every time I worked, which was amazing, and it was funny and different every time. But I took Ryan Reynolds' phone.
That's fun.
Yeah,
was he nice about it?
And that was a riot. So I was just like, you're tall, and didn't say anything. Because these poor people probably get berated all day, and I was just like, I'm gonna leave this poor person alone.
Fair.
But yeah, it was crazy. Chris Jackson was like, I gotta go get my sword, and I was like, what? He was like on his way out to go to Hamilton to go find a sword. I was like, what the heck? It was just bonkers. It was bonkers. And like I'm as much of a fan as anyone else, and I was walking all these people like, oh my God, but I had to keep cool because you don't want to be like, I don't know. I had to be professional because I was working at the same time. But yeah, I'd worked there for a little bit of a shorter period of time. Be More Chill was like 7 months, but yeah, FLS was so fun. UTK always will have my heart. That guy is unbelievable. Go check out his music on Spotify. It's really good.
Yeah,
he's really good. He's talented as hell.
They are crazy talented, and they all come with their own like spice. So whoever's there that day, you're like, ooh, we're gonna get this. Or like when Kayla would come on, or Anissa. Don't get me started.
Wait, is Kayla Kaiser Rose.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she blew
So like,
I mean, my ears away every night. Unbelievable. Just boo, 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 boo. Isn't there? Don't they have a documentary on Hulu?
yeah, we are freestyle love supreme.
Yeah, I have to go watch that immediately.
Oh my goodness. Yes, it was such a fun time. Every experience, and like their stage door people were so much fun. We went to that show so many times. It
I
was
saw you there at least 4 times.
at least like 4 times in the first week, maybe.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
It was just like, hey, when you can get rush tickets or lottery tickets and they're like $40 and it's like, I'll eat at home for X amount of time. It's just like, it's so wonderful. And then of course, as it like opened and they got the great review, and like, then the tickets become slightly less available. But it was just like, my friend Anna would just be like walking by on her lunch break and be like, so I got us 2 partial seats. You want to go? I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a great Thursday night. Thank you.
That's amazing. It became like, yeah, I mean, when they're that, $40 is still not nothing. It's
totally
still, it's expensive, but in comparison to, the outrageous, I'm a big proponent of, hey, especially if you're going into acting or you're trying to be in the theater world in some regard, just go see theater.
Anywhere, regional, off Broadway.
Go. Like learn, because you can learn something of what you maybe want, or just start thinking about technical or creative parts of it. And yeah, you bring up a good point. But wait, speaking of you going to FLS, how many times did you go in total? Because I said 4, and you're like,
if we're being honest, I think between off Broadway and on Broadway, I would say 13 would be a pretty fair number.
Yeah. Yes, and that's not to mention, I know that you were in the FLS Academy, and I really want to hear about how that was, because that looked so much fun.
I feel like the tables are turning here, but I'm cool with it. I'll give a little FLS Academy plug right now, because
I'd love to.
Oh my gosh. Me comfortable? Very. But the Academy is so wonderful, and y'all can take part in it now virtually, which is why it's a good opportunity to like talk about it. I had the like very fortunate opportunity to do it while they were on Broadway, which is just like what a once in a lifetime opportunity to be able to like be at the Greenwich House Theater learning from the people who are like then like, oh, off to go do this on Broadway.
That's so cool.
And it was so cool. And it just like, beyond the beatboxing and freestyling and the improv of all of that, like FLS is, it also just like helps you breathe better. Like a lot of beatboxing is also like learning how to breathe in a certain way and just having more confidence. And I also say this a lot, but like interviewing is really freestyling, because you're listening to what the person you're talking to is saying, and you're coming up with the next thing. Like if I had 5 or 10 things that I like was like, I'm going to ask it like this. And then you came in with something like a crazy story, and I was like, cool story. And then I just like went to the next thing.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. That's like not how interviews work. And the Academy like really helps you be present in the moment, which I mean, especially now, right? Like being able to talk and listen and understand that there's no perfect way, there's no right answer, that you can, even if you like are rhyming and you miss a rhyme, or you're coming up with a story and you say, then you just like, you can say the word like 3 times and like, but like you work it in.
With it.
Right. It's it was such a great life thing. So now they have these like My Squad and other type of things that you can do virtually through Zoom. And like my friends have gone through it. And then you can, once you've taken that class, we do this like they called an all skate rap recess, and we've been meeting like every Sunday and just like getting to freestyle for an hour. It's amazing.
That is so cool. Wow. So, okay, that's really nice that you like feel like life lessons came out of that, because that what you just said is 100%, in my experience, 100% true.
Yeah.
Like being present, being in the moment, listening, responding, that's like life in acting. And I mean, and improving. And I, I have a lot of friends that did improv, and I did improv in college. And what you were saying is spot on. I'm so glad that you like were able to grow and learn from that, because that's what improv is. And learning to be able to laugh at yourself a little bit, not in a meaningful way, not in a harmful way, but just to say, oh, I messed up, and you know what? That's okay, because literally everybody messes up.
So
You can put so much pressure on yourself and have, these insanely high expectations that just won't be met. And you're like dooming yourself, really. So you just have to be able to laugh and move on and say 3 times.
Yeah, it's so good.
Ate a croissant and I got some crumbs on my pants. Really, really messy. I went across the street and I got an espresso. Oh, coffee is great. Shoshana is awesome, and this is our date for the show. B-Way Show online, and we got the rhymes that are tight, yo.
Yes, burr, burr, burr.
I feel like we have to maybe end on a freestyle.
Yeah, that was so good. So, okay, do you have any nonprofits or charities that you want to like shout out and make sure that they have their voices heard?
Nonprofits or charities? Sure, I'll do the one that I'm working for. I am right now working for an organization called Urban Community Alliance. It is in New Haven, Connecticut, and it is an advocacy program for young Black teens and kids who are entering into the criminal justice system as a first-time offender. And so we have a program that basically avoids that and sets them up with like some life skills, learning goals, stuff like that, to be able to not go back in the system, and it erases their record. It's a really great organization. And within that Urban Community Alliance, that's called the Juvenile Review Board. There's other organizations too. The Male Involvement Network, with the work with fathers. There's like a family planning kind of aspect to it as well. They're a really great organization, and yeah, check them out, support them. They're really great. Yeah.
That is
That's a great question.
No, it's so important, because I wouldn't have known about that particular one. And what is life without trying to find new ways to give back and connect with people?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're totally right. And yeah, and that's really important, that I think that, we all have to do collectively.
Yeah.
Give back. It's really important. We are so privileged and lucky in a lot of ways, and really fortunate, and it's our obligation.
Yeah. So, okay, do you have a few more minutes to just pepper out
I got all night.
Thank you, my friend.
Absolutely.
I just, another thing that is so well documented in those photos or the illustrations that people have done about you is that you were always wearing like these rainbow or pride, like you were always so inclusive, and you always made people feel like this is your space. This is a safe space. This is, be who you are, come as you are. You'll meet people who you connect with. Is there any message or anything about that you want to talk about?
Absolutely. It's really funny you mentioned that, because I feel like it was really the other way around, honestly. Because that was the time of my life where I like really like came out. Like I wasn't even really like, I think like I had like friends that knew and stuff like that, but like I wouldn't have dreamed of putting it anywhere, because I was like a little embarrassed, and like,
Wow.
being around all those wonderful people who are part of that community really made me feel like me comfortable. So I feel like it was really the other way around. And then I was in turn able to, hopefully give some of that back. So I really honestly thank them for helping me find myself, all the fans and all the wonderful people who are inclusive and supportive. So it was really you. And so I was just doing a reflection of that. Yeah, I just think it's so important that if you believe in something, to stand up and show it and say it. Because I know, especially like being young, and like I have some experience with this, like it's, especially if you're a part of the LGBTQ plus community, like it's uncomfortable sometimes. There's always like that uncle or that grandparent or that parent or sibling or, you know, whoever, or not even in your family too, but, you know, anyone. There's always going to be, you know, oh, but what if, and there's a kind of like a diminishing feeling. It's a feeling, a sinking feeling where you're like, is something wrong with me? Or like, what is, you know, and there's not, you wonderful people listening. So be yourself, because that's really the only person you can be. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, be proud, because it's a wonderful thing. And you have a lot of wonderful people that are standing behind you and with you. And okay, one of the people that drew one of the pictures of me, I believe they live in Germany. Shout out to them in Germany. And this young person is so wonderful and kind. And I mailed them my Rambo bandana and signed it. And in exchange for, and I think I gave them a couple of pins too, but they were really, really wonderful and kind. And yeah, spread kindness, spread love, because it's infectious. So thank you all.
Yeah, that is such a powerful story. I didn't know that you were also struggling with that. And I think it just goes to show we don't know each other's struggles and journeys. And that's why spreading kindness and spreading love is so important. Because, right, like you see people who are always putting on a positive face, and maybe they are happy, but they're also struggling with something. And you never know, especially right now, right? And I feel like I've also said especially now a few times, but it's true.
It's true. Yeah.
And kindness doesn't cost you anything, right? Complimenting someone, saying you support them, saying LGBTQ plus humans are valid and wonderful and should be celebrated. That is free, and it is true. And the more that we can just make everyone feel like you being the best you makes everyone else the best them, because they feel comfortable and they know that they have someone that they can talk to and trust. And it just it creates this trust between people that you didn't even know you knew or needed. And it's so important.
Yeah, and you do. And the same thing can be said for a lot of groups fighting for good stuff right now.
Yeah.
Lot of efforts currently, but you said it perfectly.
Well, you inspired me to say it the way I said it.
It's like a big old love fest. I love it.
Yes.
You know we actually like each other, folks.
Can you tell? I cannot wait until we are able to be in the same room and I can see you perform or something that I can celebrate you in person.
Thank you. Me too. I'm excited to see you covering every event under the sun with your wonderful energy. And I gotta tell you, okay, so my great grandfather, his last name was Pace, right? Pace.
Mm-hmm.
And he always said that his last name stood for positive attitude changes everything. And I literally saw you and I went, yeah, that's a good person right there. So yeah, it's important. It's important to spread that, because that's what makes the world go. To you too.
Oh, thank you, my friend. That is very kind. I these interviews, I feel so lucky because I get to chat with wonderful people, but then it just energizes me, and then I take Slim out to the field and I'm just like, this is so great. Look at everything.
Yeah. It must be so cool to have all these different people and learning all their stories and experiences, and they're insight into life in general. It's kind of like a look into their soul a little bit. So but you're doing this. That's the cool part, is that while there's not that much going on right now, you were like, I'm gonna keep doing stuff. And so I recognize that, and it's not easy at all. And so I'm really grateful that all these wonderful people have some really good quality content. I'm gonna talk about other episodes, maybe not this one, but other good quality people and content to watch. So thank you, Shoshana.
Thank you. I feel very lucky that I looked. I have to see the exact number, but we're almost at 100 episodes. I know.
Wow! Congratulations, the big 100.
And Andrew Jelly Donut Bancroft was 50. So it's just crazy to think like from that moment to now, just I feel like I'm talking too much about this thing. It's just I'm lucky that you said yes and that all the positive that's come out of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So on that note, tell us where people can connect with you on social media that you're still like, yeah, this is for me. But more importantly, anything that like you want to like self-promote or talk that you're doing, or just like, any final words to say to all of your fans.
Cool. All right. Okay. My fans. Anyway. Yeah, so I am not on Instagram anymore. I don't have any social media on my phone. I'm doing a social media a cleanse for a while. I don't know if any of you have seen The Social Dilemma, but it raised some very interesting questions. And I know you and Jen Tepper talked a lot about this on your last episode with social media. So see below. But yeah, you can, if you want to. I still have my Instagram, my Twitter. I don't have it on my phone, but I do go on every once in a while to check things out. So if you want to get in touch, you can say hello and send a tweet or a message. Anything I want to promote. In terms of professional things, no. But what I would like to promote is self-care. Take care of yourself, everybody. Take your mental health and physical health seriously. And everybody can relate to that at this point. I also want to promote Black Lives Matter because they do. I want to promote everyone. Yes, show that shirt. I want to promote everybody going out and voting. And if you're not old enough to vote, learn about it, ask questions, be inquisitive. It's important. I want to promote all my Broadway friends in general. Give yourselves a big pat on the back, everybody, for being. If you're in a community, if you're a person working on Broadway. We really hope to see you back soon. I know everybody misses you. So, and I want to thank you. Big shout out to Shoshana for all the wonderful content you're putting out, and I really appreciate you. I appreciate you reaching out to me. This was really fun. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. This is, I love what you just said about everyone in the Broadway community, because it really is. It's the people on stage, behind the stage, the producers, the directors, the merchandise sellers, the baristas, yes. Like everyone, the ushers, like the fans, yes. The reporters, the photographers. The Broadway community really is this like large global community of people. Mm-hmm. And while we're not in person being able to support one another that way, there's still way more ways to support. And there are some virtual things going on, and just wearing a mask and voting and staying safe. And that is also supporting your Broadway people, yes, that can come back.
Yes, you are totally right.
Yay. And I just want to give a quick plug. So now The Show Must Go Online has turned into B-Way Show, the podcast. Burr, burr, burr. So you can find new episodes every other Wednesday on your favorite apps. And as they always say, it really does actually help to subscribe and like leave a rating and review. As funny as that is, that's get your phone. Just kidding. But it
do
really
it. You go do it now. Go subscribe. Hit that button.
And if fun times sound like your jam, we also have the Showtreons. That's the B-Way Show Patreon. We do weekly trivia and monthly video chats. We just had our Halloween video chat last night. I dressed up as David Rose from Rose Apothecary and Schitt's Creek.
Moira, I gotta tell you, I love that smell.
I love this journey for you.
Thank you so much. I love this journey.
It's so good. And thank you for saying yes and coming on and sharing your joy. What? Oh, yes. You are very welcome. You're always such a positive force, and it's so true. Whenever you see someone that is exuding that positivity and kindness, you just want to like be closer to them. And that's the instant that I met you. I was like, oh, this is a person I want to know. I want to be friends with. Like, how can I be friends with them? So thank you for being my friend.
Thank you for being my friend.
Thank
Down
you.
Broadway and back again. Thank you.
And thank you for watching, everyone, and commenting along.
Yeah.
It's just like Adventures with Mooch. I got it. Oh, Disney Bear Duffy 333 on Instagram. Thank you. Oh,
I know Disney Bear Duffy.
yes.
Hello.
You've been wonderful saying we celebrate you, Zach, and I co-sign that.
Hey. I'll sign off on that.
Perfect. So thank you all so much. Everyone take care of yourselves, and we'll see you at the show. Bye, y'all.
At the show. Bye.